Hey everybody. Yeah, I'm home recovering. I had a urinary tract infection. I didn't know. I guess I knew I had a urinary tract. I don't think I ever used that word before. I probably heard it. I never used it. And mine was infected. I thought I had a hernia because it's all down there, the bowel and the kidneys and all that. That's the same place as the hernia. I'd had a serious hernia a few years ago. So I thought that was it. So anyway, I came home, drove 850 miles to get home, went to the emergency room in Morgantown the next day, and they put me on some pills, and yes, I'm getting a little better every day. But I want to speak to this Kavenaugh deal some more. That was my last one. Let me give you a little bit of background. Let's start in the 1950s. In the 1950s, in Iran, there was a guy named Mossadegh, and he was a socialist, or he was a nationalist. Let's just say socialist is the right term. But he actually had the temerity to believe that oil that was under Iranian land should be the Iranian people's, and that they should get the oil. He actually had that idea. He thought that was his worst, terrible, most awful idea. He didn't think that, the oil interest in Europe and in America, he didn't think that belonged to them. He didn't believe that they should get it all. He actually thought they should give the money to the Iranian people. And so the CIA, Operation Ajax, came in, overthrew him, arrested him, killed, engineered it. In fact, a guy named Kermit Roosevelt, I think he was Teddy Roosevelt's grandson, engineered it. And the United States and the CIA have been doing stuff like that all over the world. They did it. That's where the Banana Republic term came from, because they did a similar thing in the 50s in Guatemala. And they do this all over the world, affecting millions and billions of people. So go forward to the 1980s. The CIA director for Ronald Reagan, I think his name was Casey, I could be wrong, it doesn't matter, the CIA director decides, well, let's farm this out. Let's just have a non-government organization go in, act like they're there to help, and they'll do the same thing we do. They'll overthrow countries and so forth and so on. And some of the stuff they do is they just turn other people against them. They riot in the streets, have violence, so forth and so on. They did this in the Ukraine. The Ukraine, which has been part of Russia before, was a part of Russia before the United States was founded. They turned them against each other, caused a big mess there. That was something that our good old President Obama pulled off. So, that's what they've been doing. So, and now they've done it. They've done it all over the world. And they've gotten so good at it that I guess they've decided to do this here. They've decided to turn us against each other. And I think that's what's going on now. I think that's what's going on in Washington. Rather than talking about an inverted yield curve, that we're going to get a recession. A recession's coming. We've had 7 inverted yield curves since the last 7 recessions, and every time it picked it, we just got an inverted yield curve. So we got a recession coming. No talk of that. Trump has lost Pakistan. He's lost Syria. The Middle East has virtually been lost. Russia's running around selling weapons to India. They're selling weapons to Syria. We're losing business. We've got Iran, which we're losing. That thing has been a mess. He went to the UN, completely ruined that, completely screwed all that up. And all they can talk about is how Trump's a buffoon. And they don't talk. In other words, they don't talk about the implications of all this and all this. They just want to divide and conquer. Now, when I was sitting up there watching the debate on the vote on Fox News, I watched it with my mom. My mom's a big supporter of Trump. She loves him. And at the end of it, I started hearing those shrill, crazy voices, and I started realizing that they were all in on this. You can look to see if I'm wrong, as if in 3 months, Mr. Booker has been expelled from Congress, and Feinstein has been censured, or you saw a bunch of those protesters being jailed, because when they had the Operation Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street, that was shut right down. That was over with in no time. So Trump has been president almost 2 years. George Soros hasn't been arrested. Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. So, in other words, the kayfabe has moved from the wrestling ring to Washington. It's a big scam. Don't fall for it. We can't fight Russia, China, Iran, the whole world. We can't control the whole world. We're 300 million, and there's almost 7 billion other people, if those are to be believed. We can't run it all, and ain't none of our damn business. We're not taking care of things at home. So, as the great Ron Paul said, declare victory and come home. Okay? That's what we need to do. Quit falling for this crap. I was rooting for Mr. Kavenaugh. I fell for it. I'm a sucker like everybody else. Don't feel bad that you were a sucker. You're in a good club if you're in there with me.